Hey there, adventurers. I'm Norwolf. Welcome to my role-playing game Realm and to session 28 of my Powers and Perils solo play. When last we left our band of intrepid adventurers, they'd just traveled from the town of Crystal Shores, where they had dealt with a lizard man problem at an old temple that was just to the northwest, and they made their way back down to Carcaton. And along the way, they ran into a pair of hill giants, one of which was a particularly huge beast. They basically didn't have too many problems taking them out, but there was, as always, the potential of somebody getting severely hurt in the process. The one particular large hill giant had was basically a two times or double sized. He had an OCV of 33, which basically made it fairly easy for him to hit our characters, but fortunately, nothing really came of that. Of note, he had a combat difficulty factor of 12, which basically means is the contributing factor to how much experience he's giving out for the damage that they do to him, as well as the expertise points that the characters gain in the various weapons and skills they've used against the hill giant. And of course, Gildor did manage to land one spell on him, so the magic defense value of 16 comes into play. The other hill giant was just a 1.2 times. We had an OCV of 21, offensive combat value, that is. Defensive combat value 3. So, the bigger they are, the easier they fall, maybe, I guess. Defensive combat value 1 for the 2 times guy. Combat difficulty factor of 8. No spells were cast against this guy, so the MDV of 10 didn't come into play. And, of course, I keep track of the hit points that are done to the beast, who's done it, and with which weapon they did it with. So in this case, it was 4 points damaged by Raffin with his longbow. We see, quite a few longbows, composite bow from Gildor. And then when they actually get into the melee, we have Raffin with his bastard sword, more bow shots still, Gildor with his smokeless flame doing 19 points. Not that the amount of damage done with the spell matters, just the fact that the spell actually landed, was able to succeed, is where he gets experience and expertise from. And what else? Then on the second hill giant, Raffin had switched to his axe. Marazan was using her mace on this thing. And Ssalzar, of course, with the longbow. And Gildor did manage to get 1 point of damage in with his bow against the second guy. Keena had done a healing mist. He had done 4 casts, 3 successful. And then we also had Ssalzar do his Orient Self Purification Knowledge spells and probably a few other things along the way. So, doing all the tallying, we get to this point where, let me flip over to Gildor's file. Okay, so from that last session, Gildor ended up getting 24 expertise points with his bow, so 2 times the combat difficulty factor of that large hill giant. His smokeless flame, which succeeded, ended up with 48 magic experience points and 32 expertise points in the spell. That 48 gave him 2 characteristics, which he put into intelligence and will. From the battle, he ended up with 324 combat experience points from the large giant, and 8 more from the smaller large giant, for a total of 332 combat experience points, which gave him 7 characteristics. He put 3 into agility, 2 into dex, and 2 into will. When you get characteristics, up to half can be put into a single characteristic, I guess. So in this case, I guess he could put up to 4 into one particular stat. So with that, you can see that Gildor has gone from, over the past several adventures, gone from a 33 dexterity to a 36 dexterity. Gone from a 25 agility to a 31 agility, a 46 intelligence to a 49, 48 will to a 54, 14, he hasn't put anything into eloquence at this point, and his empathy's gone from 42 to 44. So, and of course that basically affects his mana level, which is a combination of his, actually if we look at the formula here, that's the intelligence, will, and empathy divided by 10, rounded up. His MDV is based on his mana level plus his MEL, which is currently 6. Nope, that's not right, half his MEL. His energy level has gone up to 90, actually 93 from 87. And he currently has 726 magic experience points. He needs 1200 for his next magic experience level. And his current casting ability is 90. One of the, what he's getting close to here is when his casting ability actually exceeds his energy level. The energy level determines how much of his casting ability he can use in any given day. So if he had 100 casting ability, he would only be able to actually use 93 of that in a particular day. So the next day, he'd have 7 plus whatever he didn't use from that he still had left in his casting ability. So not so much of a problem right now, but as they get into much higher magic experience levels, that could come into play. And of course, his mana regen is now 7 instead of 6. Right, let's see. Other changes here, he's got 1,480 combat experience points. He needs 2,000 to go to the next combat experience level, which currently he's combat experience level 6. He has an OCV, or offensive combat value, of 8 and a defensive combat value of 10. You'll notice that his strength and stamina are maxed out, so currently he can only have a +1 stamina bonus, or strength bonus and stamina bonus. And he's getting close to maxing out his agility. So his agility will only ever be a +2 bonus at this point. But he does have some room for his dexterity, which can go up to 53, which will eventually give him a +3 dexterity bonus. I think that's basically it for the stats. If we look at his skills, he would have added, he just used the bow, so his bow skill gone up to expertise level 3. And from the spell side of things, his Smokeless Flame is at expertise level 4. He has 84 expertise expertise points, and he needs 112 to go up to EL 5. And of course, he's got a language that he can use to cast this, which means he can bump up the EL by 1 to currently EL 5 and eventually EL 6 when he's got EL 5 in this spell. That takes care of Gildor. Right, with Raffin. With Raffin, he got 24 expertise points with his longbow, 24 with his bastard sword, 24 with his heater shield, as he got a shield hit from the large giant, and 16 expertise points for his axe, which he used against the smaller of the two hill giants. He ended up with a total of 440 combat experience points, 9 characteristics. He put 4 into strength, 4 into agility, 1 into will. And let's see, what changed for him since last time? So he has gone from 43 to 51 strength. He's gone from 43 stamina to 44, which is now maxed. From 33 to 36 dex. From 25 to 31 agility. From 12 to 14 intelligence. Not the most intelligent guy at the end of the day. 12, from 11 to 12 on his will. His eloquence has not changed. Again, it's not a heavily used characteristic, unless you're, oh, in my solo play anyways, probably not very heavily used, but in a more role-playing type of situation, eloquence would be a little bit more prevalent. And his empathy of 7, which hasn't changed at all either. He has 3,095 combat experience points, which has gone up from his 2,265 previously. He needs 4,200 for his next combat experience level. He is combat experience level 8. Has an OCV of 13, a DCV of 12, and a movement rate of 12, which has actually gone up from his 11 before, which is probably because his agility has gone up to give him a +2 agility. And let's see, a few other changes here. I guess hit points gone from 36 to 38. And I'm sure a few other stats have changed. Oh, mana level's gone up to 4. MDV's gone up to 4. Energy levels changed ever so slightly. And then on the characteristic side of or the stats, skills side of things, with his longbow, he ended up with 24 expertise points, which he needs 54 for his next level. Currently has a EL 5. Max is EL 7 based on his Dex and Agility, or Dex and Agility's characteristics. His Bastard Sword, where is that? Went up to EL 9. So a bit of a change there. His Heater Shield has gone up to EL 5 from EL 4. And his Axe is EL 3. So his 16 expertise points there. He needs a total of 24 to get to the next level. And that takes care of Raffin. Let's go to Marazan. Right, Marazan. Marazan ended up with 24 expertise in her longbow, 16 in her mace, and 16 in her Heater Shield. She was battling the smaller of the two. She ended up with 732 combat experience points, 324 from the big guy, 408 from the second one. That equals 15 characteristics. So she came out like a bandit in this one. She put 4 into strength, 3 into agility, 3 into dex, 2 into will, and 3 into intelligence. And so we should probably see some fairly dramatic changes on her sheet. So she has gone from 45 to 51 strength, which gives her now a +3 strength bonus, which means all of her deadly hits have been modified to 4d10 instead of 3d10 for the melee weapons. Her stamina has gone from 43 to 45. Her dexterity has gone from 34 to 38. Agility has gone from 32 to 36. Her intelligence has gone from 19 to 22, and that's now maxed out at 22. And her will is now maxed out at 24, which was 22 in the previous sheet. And her eloquence and empathy hasn't changed at all. Her hit points have gone from 45 to 47. She has a total of 3,142 combat experience points. She needs 4,200 for the next level. Previously, she had 2,175. She's now combat experience level 8. So OCV 13, DCV 12, and her movement rate is 12. So she has bumped up her movement rate by 1 as well. Other main changes. Probably nothing here too significant. Healing chance gone up a bit. And yeah, that's about it for the front page. Of course, there'll be potentially some skill changes, but go to her skill page. So she received 24 in longbow. So she needs 72 for her next level. And when she hits that, it'll be maxed out based on her current characteristics. Her mace got 16, so it went up to EL2 from EL1, and with 8 left over from the 16. And her heater shield got 16, so she has 32 expertise points in heater shield. She needs 36 to get the next level, get to EL6. That takes care of Marazan. Now, let's go to Keena. So for Keena, I did not have to redo her front page yet. It's going to be a little bit messy here. So she has gone from, oh, actually, let's start with what she got. So Keena ended up with, of course, 24 expertise points in her composite bow, 36 combat experience points, which gave her 1 characteristic, which we put into Dex. So she didn't fare too well in this particular battle. She did do the healing mist a number of times there, so she ended up with 12 magic experience points from the healing mist and 13 expertise points in healing mist. And she should have gotten 1 characteristic out of that, which I didn't write down. And she's going to throw that into like anything. It can be anything except Dex and strength, or agility and strength. So she's going to throw that into. You know, she hasn't done empathy for a while, so let's put 1 point into empathy. Right, so let's make her empathy actually 12. And so since last time I printed out the sheet, she's gone from a 31 to a 33 Dex, 31 to a 34 agility, a 41 to a 43 intelligence, a 33 to a 36 will, and of course now a 12 empathy. She had previously 800 combat experience points. She now has 1148. She needs 1200 for the next level. She's currently combat experience level 5. Gives her a 9 OCV, 9 DCV. And her movement rate is currently 11. Got a good dex and agility potential, so well, actually her agility anyways. So this will be going up at some point, which her agility bonus goes up. And 26, so her hit points haven't changed. She has previously had 80 magic experience points. She now has 147. She is 3 points shy of going to MEL4. I think she's going to do a bit of casting during her downtime. And we'll see her at MEL4 pretty quickly here. Otherwise, skill-wise, let's pop to her skill sheet. And of course, her composite bow. She ended up with 24 expertise points, so 15 left over, so her composite bow went up to 1 from EL0. And that would be it for changes there. And then on the magic user side of things, she did use her healing mist. Her healing mist is, there it is, 13 expertise points there. She needs 3 more to get to EL1 in that spell. And that would be it for her. And last but not least, let's pop over to Ssalzar. So Ssalzar, I can't remember if I had actually shown his sheet previously, but just from this last little bit of battle, he used his longbow, got 24 expertise points. He ended up with 164 combat experience points, 4 characteristics. He put 2 into Dex, 1 into Agility, 1 into Will. He did his Orient Self spell at EL1, 3 magic experience points and 2 expertise. His Purification, this is all in preparation for his Knowledge spell. He did EL1, so 6 magic experience points, 4 expertise. His Knowledge at EL2, So 20 magic experience points and 10 expertise in that spell. And his healing at EL 0. 2 magic experience points, 3 expertise points in that spell. I think he ended up casting that twice, I guess. Probably failed the first time. So he ended up with 31 magic experience points, which gave him 2 characteristics, which he put into intelligence and will. Then from the battle, he put, I already said that. So his changes here, he has, 31 strength, 31 stamina. His dex went from 19 to 21. His agility went from 19 to 20. His intelligence went from 22 to 23, and the 2 points into will, so 44 to 46. He has 30 hit points. He went from 250 combat experience points to 414. He needs 450 to get to combat experience level 4. He has a OCV and DCV of 7 and 5 respectively. His mana level, MDV didn't change. His energy level went up by 1, actually by 2. Started at 101. He started at 108 expertise or magic experience points. He now has 139. He needs 150 for the next level. Again, with some downtime casting, he'll probably see MEL4 very quickly here. And then on the skill side of things, with his 24 expertise in longbow, he needs 45 to go up to the next level. He has EL4 currently. And on the spell side of things, his spells are a little scant here, but of course he got 4 into purification, 26 into knowledge. Looks like his knowledge, 26, what is that? Oh, he had previous expertise points there. He got 10 more into that. And healing, 3 points there. That pretty much covers off his gains. Cool. All right, so let's go into what these guys are going to do during their downtime. For the downtime, I'm going to probably focus mostly on Gildor and Raffin. Raffin and Marazan, those guys will be a little bit on the easier side because they're just working on skills, if that. But the Raffin is going to get himself a full helm from the armory at the castle. And get repairs done to his shield, his armor, and his weapons. Gildor, again, is going to get repairs done to his armor and weapons. In all these cases, I think they're going to assist in the repairs, so that they'll be getting some expertise points in their armoring skill. Marazan, same thing, armor and weapons repair. Keena, she's buying another sword to replace the one that she broke. She'll probably get that out of the armory at the castle. She will get her armor repaired, and she'll probably look at buying or getting some additional armor because she's only wearing leather at the moment as kind of her main defense. I think we're going to look at some scale or bandage or something on the light side that doesn't, or maybe even a chain. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what she comes with, but for Marazan, Keena, and Ssalzar, I'll probably do their downtime activities offline and just kind of update next session on what they did. So I'm also going to be probably splitting up the party here. I think I'm going to stick with at least Raffin and Gildor for this next whatever the next adventure ends up being. I may pull Ssalzar into that. I have to see. And Keena and either Marazan or Ssalzar are going to probably have an adventure of their own. I'm not going to necessarily record that, but I may give just an update on what transpired with them and just kind of keep focusing on the main guys, Gildor and Raffin. So, and then whoever else kind of accompanies them on their adventures. So that takes care of that. So let's jump into what Gildor is going to do. So I'm going to assume that he has probably somewhere between 5 and 10 days. And he's currently used 21 mana from his casting ability and 12 mana from his mana storage device. So he's got a fair bit of points to use there. He'll probably wait a day or two, gather up get some mana restored, and then blow probably a good 25 to 30 of the mana from his mana storage device, and at least probably 60 or 70 mana from himself. Let's flip to a blank sheet and see where we go here. Grab a pen. Right, so we're starting with Gildor. And this would be, I guess, July 19th. Let's, not that it really matters. Downtime start. I'm not going to worry about the weather too much right at this point. And then, of course, on the 18th, they would have had another horse. Would have traveled through the plains, no forest and no hill. And, of course, one carrying. That's probably going to be it for the expertise gains against those for the next like I said, 5 to 10 days. So July 19th, he has 90. Oops. Simulator 90, and his mana storage device has 50, 23, 12. All right. Actually, let's flip to full screen here. We'll start with what is he going to do? So 19th, he's not going to be casting any spells. He will get mana back. He cast anything on the previous day. So he's getting 5 back on his mana storage device. For himself, he's getting 7 plus his Emiel because of previous day not having cast anything, so that's 13. Goes down 10. Probably easier if I write that as 80. This is 43. And I know exactly what they're sitting at. Okay, so that first day, he is using his armor during the day and doing some repairs. And then later that day, he's actually going to use his mana because the next day he's getting another 13 back. And that's going to put him over. So, spell-wise, what does he want to work on? He's going to... I think it's worth getting some other offensive spells, whether it's lightning or that sonic trumpet that he used previously, or maybe even look at, well, he wants to, I guess, to use the casting ability, he has to do it on spells he's already got. He can't learn a new spell. A lot of the spells like Lightning Swarm, do these things, they tend to surround the caster. They're great for the NPCs when they're attacking the characters. Not so great for the characters when they're in a group and attacking the monsters or the creatures. So, what does he want to do? I'm going to take a quick look at his spells here and be right back. Okay, I think we're going to spend a little bit of time on archery powers. Multiple arrows and maybe floating arrows. Start with multiple arrows. So, let's see. He has the language he could use with that. Let's grab dice. There, got myself reorganized a bit. Grab our dice, and let's get going here. So, multiple arrows has base mana cost 3. If he gets his language off, he can cast it at EL1. Means he can gather, or cost him 5 to cast it at EL1. 4 with the language, at 20% reduction. He is MEL 6. And EL1, he can gather 4, so he can, no, I guess that really doesn't matter, that he can cast it in one phase, if the language works. His Tongue of the Kid is 80. So let's go with, this is multiple arrows. So EL80 on his language, where it works, so he's casting it EL1. Costs him 4 mana. Gonna be 76. And subtracting his EL times 2. So he subtracts 2 from the roll. He's on the 6th line. 21 less 4 or less 2, so 19, that succeeds. So he gets, it's going to be 1 success. And he's getting, oh, this is base mana cost. Mana cost 3. So he is getting EL plus 1, so 3 times 3 is 9. And expertise points. Base mana cost times 2, so 6. Alright, so he's going to cast that again. So the language, 53 works, and the spell, 35 works. That's another 4 points, 72. And 9 more, 6 more there. And let's do that again. 94, that's going to be a failure. And it's not within 25%, so no partial. That costs him another 4 points, so 68. Okay, so he needs to get 24 expertise points to get to the next level. So he's got 12 so far. So if he gets 2 more successful casts out of this, he'll be laughing. So next one, again, language, 30 works. He's using another 4 points, so 64. And the spell, 69, fails, but he gets 1 expertise point. So 1 more point there. Language, 64 works. And the spell, 44 works, so that's going to be another 9 and 6. And let's go again. Language, 84 does not work. I think the spell cast deals 0 in that case. Just double checking, he was within, so he has a skill of 80. He missed by 4, so it's still a partial success, so the spell does go off at EL 0. If he'd failed in the language, which is in this case isn't possible, It is possible with EL 60 language. For example, he has Tongue of the Giant at EL 60. At 84 would have been still partial success within 25 points. He'd rolled an 86. That would have been a failure of the language, and the spell would have failed at that point. So anyways, he does cast at EL 0, which means he's not subtracting anything from his roll. And 75 fails. It is within 25 points, so one more partial. Let's put a 2 there instead. Next, language. Oh, sorry, he cast EL 0. Cost him 3 points. That was 57. His language works on this next one, so that's 4 more points. It's going to be 53. Probably getting mixed up here, but close enough. He's subtracting 2, 56. And he gets a 54, so he missed by 2. Another partial. Next one, language. Works. So 49. And fell. 79 fails, so then 25. No, it isn't, so still 3. He's gonna blow a bunch of mana here just trying to get the spell to work. Okay, language. 83. Fails, so he's casting EL 0. 46. Spell works. But EL 0, he is getting 6 magic experience points and 6 expertise points. Base mana cost times 2. He doesn't have any targets here, so the MDV is not getting as much for his spells as he could have had he been casting against an opponent. That doesn't... Well, that actually does give him the EL 1. So he's going to stop there with this guy, or with this spell. He's got 27 expertise. So his multiple arrows will have gone to EL 1, which means if he uses the language, he can actually get EL 2 in it. And the neat thing about multiple arrows is when you cast the spell on an arrow, if you cast the spell and you use an arrow, it multiplies the number of arrows that get shot. So the one arrow that gets fired turns into multiple arrows, and they each have a chance of hitting the target. So considering how much he uses his bow, I'm a little bit surprised that I've kind of forgotten about the spell, and that he should have been using it all along. He wants to go with Exploding Arrow next. So for this one, he's going to use his mana storage device. This is a base mana cost 4. Hopefully at EL 1. That's 1, and that one works better. And so base mana costs 4. EL 1 is going to cost 6, so it's going to cost 5. They're going to cost him 5, or it's going to cost him 4, depending on whether or not the language works. And it really does matter that he can gather 4 or 3. So it's 2 phases typically for being able to get that spell off. And yeah, so let's go for there. So every time he uses the 5 mana or the 4 mana from the mana storage device, he has to expend 1 of his mana to use that device. You have to remember to do that. Okay, so again, same language using Tongue of the Cid. His first cast with the language, 30, is going to succeed. So we'll use 5. That's going to give him, 45 there, so 1 point. And 38 points left there. The spell, deal 1, he's subtracting 2, and that's a failure. He gets 1 expertise. Okay, he's going again, language. 49 works, 44, and 5 points, so 33. Needs a 54, and that works. So he's getting base mana cost, so 3 EL1, so 3 times base mana cost of 4, so that's 12 magic experience points and 8 expertise in the spell. And of course, he'd like to see a total of floating arrow 24, so he'd like to see himself succeed at least 3 times at casting this spell so he can get EL1 in it. So again, language works. So he's going to use 43 and 5 over here, so 28. And the spell itself, 94, does not work. And that is not within 25% or 25 points, so no expertise point for that. So no partial success. Language works. So he's going to cast the spell at EL1. 5 more points here, so 23. And the spell itself, 54 or less, 32 works. So 12 and 8. And so he's off in the yard casting spells on arrows and shooting at targets that are exploding and making all the castle folk a little bit uneasy with all the explosions. So, or I guess he could have gone outside of town, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so language. 87 does not work, so he's casting EL0. And EL0 is costing him 4. 41 and 19. That works. So he is getting 8. And experience points. 2 times 4 is 8. Alright, so that basically gives him the 24 he needed there. 25, actually. And, alright. Oh yeah, 20 or 20. Well, he only needed 20. Well, that's... What else does he want to work on? I think he's going to work on his purification spell. Maybe actually no, he's going to work on his enchantment. Enhancement or enchantment? As he does want to get into making some magic items. So if we look at permanent magics, work pack, there we go. So the enhancement allows you to enhance materials, so plant-derived gems, things like that. Enchantment allows you to improve weapons and armor. He definitely wants to work on enchantment. And ensorcelment is the other one, where you can add spells to items. So let's start with enchantment. He'll probably blow the last of his little bit of mana here and see where he gets to this day. And again, the enchantment is base mana cost 6. Base mana 6. He has EL1 in this spell. He doesn't have a language for it yet. He is working on Tongue of Valen, which will actually be a language, supernatural language he'll be able to use on the permanent magics. He has the 45 of the 60 he needs to learn it. So within another knowledge or 2, unless he can find somebody to actually teach him that language. And let's see, and he's casting at EL1. So if he succeeds, it'll be a good number of magic experience points and actually a good number of 12 magic experience points or expertise points in the spell every time he succeeds. So no language. So base mana costs 6. EL1's costing him 8 every time cast. We'll be able to do 2 out of the magic mana storage device, and then we'll see what he's got left for his own mana after that. Costs him 1 point there, costs him 8 points here. And heal 1 needs a 54, 42, so that succeeds. That is going to be 3 times 6, 18 magic experience points, and 12 expertise points. 50 to go up a level. Wow, that's a lot. Definitely not going up this time around. All right, one more time here. So 39, and that leaves, what is that? 3 in the managed storage device. So 85. That is a failure. It is not within 25%. So no partial there. And this next time it's coming out of his own mana. And that's going to be a success. So another 18 and 12. So 24 there. You know what? He's going to cast one more time. And that'll be 13. Nope, 23. And that is a failure. So he's going to stop there, give it a few days. It is within in 25%, so that's actually 1 expertise. So 25. Now, total of his magic experience points. That's going to be 18, 27, 33, 45, 57, 65, and a whole bunch. A grand total of 101, which is going to be good for 25, no minimum. That's going to be 5 characteristics. And of course, again, he can put those into anything except strength and agility. So he is going to put them into 3 into intelligence and 2 into wit. 3 intelligence. And we are adding 27 to multiple arrow. So 7 left over. Loading arrow gets 25. 1. And 25 into 25 into enchantment. Halfway to getting EL2 in enchantment. Awesome. That takes care of the first day. His armor, he will be getting 2 expertise in armor per day that he's doing, assisting in the shop, basically. So on the 20th, he's getting +7 here and +5 here. 21st, he's not doing any, so he didn't do any casting on the 20th, so on this day he's getting +13, 5. 22nd, going to get +13 and +5. And on the 23rd, again, another +13, 5. This is now at 23. And this is going to be at, let's see, 20, 30, 46. 46 and 69. And let's see, 24th. We'll hold off casting again. Actually, no, the 24th is when he's going to actually start casting again. So that morning he gets 13 back on his casting ability and 5 more back on the mana storage device. He's got 82 and 28. And he will spend some more time casting his enchantment. He's hoping to get at least 2 or 3 more successful casts there. So enchantment. 8. 1. Great. So let's... Oh, actually, I should double check the calendar. So actually, they just cast on the 14th. His next one is going to be on the 28th, and we're on the 24th. So yeah, I think we'll spend some time casting here. And then again, once the 28th comes up, or 29th, 28th, he needs to keep some mana aside for that. And I should have regained by that point. Ooh. Okay, the spell. 54 or less, 31, that works. 18, 12. And that's going to cost him, this first one came out of a storage device. He will will he do one more out of there? Or will he save it? He also wants to put some into ensorcelment. Ooh, yeah, so he's going to do the ensorcelment from his mana storage device. Let's, he'll do one more from himself. So that's going to cost him 8 more. That's 73. And that fails. One expertise. And one more time. So 64. Is that right? No, that's not right. 8 off of that, 65. And does it work? 48, it works. So another 12. And another 18. He's getting 25 there. That'll bump him up exactly. He will do 1 ensorcelment to start with. Oh, base mana cost 10. Heal 0. Sorry. Ensorcelment, yeah. Base mana cost 10. It's basically going to cost him 10. So he will use his... totally spelled that wrong. Heal 0. Okay, first one. First cast is going to be out of his managed storage device, so that's going to be 64. And that'll be 10. Let's hope this works. No minuses, so basically straight 52% chance. I don't think he's close to level, is he? 1. That's works exceptionally well. And he's getting 20 magic experience points and 20 expertise points. He will cast that at least one more time, so coming out of his own mana pool now. Go at 54. 63 fails, but 1 expertise. Because as I said, he needs a 52. 44. 6. 10 fails. 2. I'm going to try again at 34. 30, that works. So 20. You know what? He's going to go one more time. 24. And 39, that's a failure. So 3. One more time. 23, that works. 20 and 20. He's going to get 3 expertise and 60, 70, 80, 96 magic experience points. I'm going to translate to 4 characteristics. And again, he's going to do with those characteristics. He's going to put them into, I'm going to put 2 in Dex. Two into intelligence. So that's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Of course, I didn't leave myself much space here, so on the 25th, he's not casting anything. That'll be +7, 5, 21, 18. On the 26th, +13, 5, 24. Yeah, they're going to stick around here until they do the knowledge spells and then head out the day after. So that's going to be 5th, 8th, 6th, 30. All right, so that will get him to the 28th. On the 28th, he is doing a couple of spells. But definitely run out of space here, so let's flip over to the next page. On the 28th. So he needs to do a purification elder. He will do that at EL 0, of course. Base mana cost 2, EL 0. He currently has 30. Let's get that spell going first. Base mana cost 2. It's going to cost him 2. 58. And the spell does not work. 56. Tries again. Does not work, but he gets 1 expertise. 54. Tries again. 4. Works that time. All right, so he's got his purification. And then the knowledge spell. And his knowledge is EL 1. +5. And he will going to cost 5. EL 0 or EL 1 is going to cost him 7. And he will use his mana storage device for the first cast. So 53 and 23. And it has a 54% chance, so -2 on the roll to get 52. 8, that fails. 1 expertise. Oh, and of course the pass here gave him 4 magic experience points plus 4 expertise points. He's next knowledge. Going to take that off of his own mana. He'll use his mana storage device again. 52 and 16. And that one works. So that's going to give him Oops, no, more than that. That's going to give him 15 magic experience points and 10 expertise in the spell. And we'll give him die 6 plus knowledge. It's going to be d6 plus heal, so d6 plus 1 in his language, which is where he's been concentrating that on. Before I get there, he's getting 19 magic experience points. And that's going to be 11 and 5. And that's going to be another characteristic, which he will put into Sword and Empathy. And for his d6 roll, he's going to get 6. Nice. Well, 7 points. So this is up to 50. That gives him 5 more expertise in purification. 5. And 11 more in. He needs 45 to go up a level there. So. The knowledge spell he can only cast once every 15 minus EL days, so that he can't be practicing that spell in the interim. Be a little bit too nice if he could. So that takes care of Gildor up until the 28th, and on the 29th, well, yeah, the 29th, they'll probably be, 29th or 30th, they'll probably be heading out. So for downtime for Raffin, he's basically just going to be working on skill of some sort. He will have assisted with his armor repairs. He has 24 points towards learning armor. So in the days that they spend, he'll be getting 2 expertise per day in learning before he can actually do it on his own and potentially get more expertise if he's actually creating something. And similarly for Marazan and the others, they'll have spent some time working on various skills and whatnot. So I won't get into those. I may recap them in the next session, but I think for now, I'm going to wrap it up with basically having focused on Gildor spending some time and gaining some expertise in some of his spells. And maybe we'll see him use those in his adventures going forward here. So anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. And hopefully this was at least a little bit of insight into some downtime spell casting and, as I said, a bit of a recap on what they had done previously. And next time we'll get into what does Gildor and Raffin and whomever get pulled into next. Have a great day. And as usual, of course, kind of last minute, like, subscribe, hit the little bell thing, all that kind of wonderful stuff. We'll catch you later.